Paris outragé, Paris brisé, Paris martyrisé, mais Paris libéré.
Alors aux enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé. Contre nous de la tyrannie, les couleurs sanglantes élevées, les couleurs sanglantes élevées. Entendez-vous dans les campagnes mugir ces féroces soldats? Ils viennent jusque dans nos bras, égorger nos fils et nos compagnes. Honorables citoyens, soyez vaillants, marchons, marchons,
Member, Consul General Lemoine, Mayor Moon, Council Member Smotrick, Mr. Bell, Ms. Kim, our honored veterans, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bob Johnson. I'm a retired Air Force officer, and it's a really great privilege and pleasure for me to be here today in this beautiful museum, which is so appropriate to recognize our honorees. I had the pleasure of being here about 10 years ago when we recognized Donald Cravens, who this wonderful hangar is named after. Please rise for the presentation of the colors and the playing of the anthems. We're pleased to have Palm Springs Air Museum docents Richard Kavanaugh and Bill Gildner as our color guard today. Color guard, present the colors. I'm pleased to call up Christy, granddaughter of Russ Snell, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Christy. Color guard, please post the colors and retreat. Audience may be seated. I'd like to briefly go over the wonderful relationship between the United States and France. They've had a number of recognition programs for our veterans. Back in 1998, they began Project 1998 to recognize our World War I veterans. And over the next few years, over 900 were presented to living World War I veterans in California, in the United States. And in California alone, we found 55 living World War I veterans. And for me, I did a lot of the ceremonies, and they were mostly centenarians. It was just a wonderful program. Then they began a program for World War II veterans in the year 2000. They handed out thousands and thousands of very nice diplomas for those that had served in France. And in 2004, in honor of the 60th anniversary of D-Day, they began a program to present the Legion of Honor to living World War II veterans. And just in California alone, we've presented probably 400 and thousands in the United States. And when I do these ceremonies, I reach out to the audience and say, there are many thousands of living veterans just in California that served in France, and we don't know where they are. Please help me find them, and we'll put their paperwork in to get this beautiful award. A little history on our nations. Back in our War of Independence, France provided incredible support to help us. In our War of Independence, they provided Marines and naval support and helped us turn the tide against the British at the Battle of Yorktown. In 2007 was the 250th anniversary of the birth of the Marquis of Lafayette. He was a French aristocrat, but a very young gentleman and a brilliant military strategist. And I learned a few years ago, at 19 years of age, he was the youngest general officer ever to serve in our armed forces. Washington had appointed him a general in our army, so kudos to Lafayette. And we cannot forget our most precious gift from France, the Statue of Liberty. Thank you, France. I'm very pleased now to call up our host today for this wonderful event, Mr. Fred Bell, the Managing Director of the museum. Fred?
I can't think of a more fitting location, as Bob said, than the Cravens Hangar, surrounded by memories from that great struggle so long ago. We tend to at times forget the sacrifice that these men and women made at that time. You know, they were young, they were many times either in high school or barely out of high school. They left their farms, they left their factories, they left whatever their lives were for a very uncertain future as the scourge of Nazi Germany fell over Western Europe and France lost its freedom. The French did not give up. They continued to struggle and they continued to resist the Germans during the occupation. And with that long friendship that we had with France, we were able to come to their aid. And again, these farmers, these factory workers, these young men and women stepped off at Normandy and began the Great Crusade to liberate Europe. We cannot lose sight of the fact of what a special relationship the United States has with the country of France. We should never lose that relationship and lose the understanding of how important it is. And the other thing is, never forget the sacrifices that our men and women made at that time for a very uncertain future as they reverberate through history. That conflict continues to shape the world today. And at this time, as the greatest generation is now marching into history, is the most important time that we recognize these historic and heroic deeds of our citizens. Vive la France. God bless the United States of America. Thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you, Fred. It's now my pleasure to invite our city host, the mayor of Palm Springs, Bob Moon, who's also a commander, U.S. Navy retired. Bob?
It's an honor to be here today to welcome all of you to Palm Springs and to this beautiful Palm Springs Air Museum, which is really one of the true jewels of our city. And it's we're honored here in Palm Springs to have our French Consul General, Monsieur Lemont, here. Thank you very much for coming today and for making this ceremony possible. Most of all, I'd like to say welcome to our World War II veterans who are here today. It's wonderful to have you here and to be able to see you being recognized by the French government for all that you did for their country and for ours. As a midshipman at Annapolis, in naval history, our entire naval history was replete with stories of the French Navy. I mean, if it was not for the French Navy, there would be no America. So, as we always say, if there was no France, there would be no America. And possibly if there was no America, there would be no France. So we are very, very tightly, our bonds are very, very tight. And personally, I know my father and all my uncles served in World War II, and I have one uncle who died at the Battle of the Bulge. And also, my husband's father lost his leg in the Battle of the Bulge. So my family is very tied with World War II and with France and all that happened in that great war. So on behalf of all of the City Council and all the residents of Palm Springs, I'd like to thank everyone for being here today for this wonderful ceremony. And also, of course, Councilmember Iris Smoltrick, one of my dear friends, and here representing the city of Rancho Mirage. So thank you very much for having me here today. It's a true honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Moon. I'd now like to go through our invitation of our introduction of our other distinguished guests. And please hold your applause till we introduce them all. We're very pleased to have the Honorable Christophe Lemont, the Consul General of France in Los Angeles, and his spouse, Samson Verma, here today. Consul General, welcome. Please hold your applause. And we have our three honorees. Lieutenant Raymond Casey Hasey. Would you like to introduce your family members here?
No, I don't have my glasses with me.
Do we have a family member that wants to mention their guest? Well, I know we have this group. Okay. Well, welcome.
Bob can read them to you.
Just the immediate family.
Oh, there.
Okay.
About
All right.
12 friends here.
Well, we don't have time for all of them, but if there's any immediate family, I like to recognize them. Have any immediate family you want to introduce?
Yes, my son Steve and my gorgeous daughter-in-law Kelly and my grandson back there Jared and his wife-to-be very soon. I think very soon, but we're looking forward to it. And then I've got some friends here. Don, former fighter pilot from the Navy. Well, that's enough.
Just the family. For now. Welcome to all of your guests. Any family members you want to introduce?
It's my wife, Margie, and my son-in-law, Keith, and my daughter, Lisa, and my other daughter, Jamie. And
grandchildren?
I got a granddaughter back there in the back, and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law in the back.
Missy? Anyone else? Rod's immediate family? Okay. Chris gave us a pledge of allegiance. So thank you very much from Snell. Tanya, welcome all of you here today to help us honor these wonderful gentlemen. We're also pleased to have with us here Phyllis Maher and her daughter Janice. They are the widow and daughter of World War II Legion of Honor Chevalier Pat Mager Maher, who passed away before he could come to a ceremony. So we're pleased to have them here today to help us honor these veterans. And I have another veteran here who's a candidate for the Legion of Honor.
Earl Ulmer. And this is my wife, Lee.
Wonderful to have you here today. He's a candidate. Hopefully you'll get approved soon. From the U.S. House of Representatives, representing Congressman Ruiz, we have Elena Kim. From the city of Rancho Mirage, Councilmember Iris Smotrick. Welcome, Iris. I know we have a number of veterans here today. If you can stand, please rise so we can recognize all our veterans here today. Among them is my good friend, Lieutenant Colonel Bob Christian, whom I've known for many years, and we were assigned together, and U.S. Air Force retired. And he's brought with him World War II Marine veteran Vince Anderson. Vince, who was a survivor of the sinking of the U.S. Lexington in the Battle of the Coral Sea, the famous battle that turned the tide against our allies, the Japanese in World War II. I also have a schoolmate from my high school in Argentina, Ben Smith, who hosted me last night. Ben, thank you for doing that, and his wife Ruth Ann, and a college roommate of mine and Navy veteran, Alan Evans. I hadn't seen Alan in 48 years. There he is, Alan. Welcome. And from the Ritz-Carlton in Rancho Mirage, we'd like to welcome Chef Bruno Lopez, who arranged the wonderful reception. Bruno, welcome. And from the, please be seated. And from the Palm Springs Air Museum, I want a special thanks to Fred and his staff, and Greg Kenny, the education coordinator, who helped bring this program together. We are now, this is the main part of the program. We're going to be going into the presentations of the medals. And the way we're going to handle it is I'm going to call up the Consul General and read his bio, and as he presents each medal, I will call each honoree up front and center, and the wheelchair, if a family member can come help bring them up when we call that. We'll present the medal, face the Consul General, present the medal, and then we'll turn to the audience for photo op. And we'll do that sequentially. I'll read a short bio of each one. So it's now my pleasure to call up Consul General Christophe Lemon to begin our presentations. Monsieur Lemon was born in Gonesse, France in 1974. He's a 1997 graduate of the Institute of Political Studies at Bordeaux. Mr. Christophe Lemon holds a doctorate-level degree in international law and international organization law, as well as a diploma in economic and European international law, both from the University of Geneva. His postings in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have included the Human Resources Branch in Paris during 2001-2004, the third secretary at the French Embassy in Berlin during 2004-2007, External Relations Division of the European Cooperation Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from 2007 to 2009, then at the Office of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from 2009 to 2012. From 2012 to 2015, he was Chief of Staff for Mr. Leonard Fabius, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Development. In July 2015, he took up his current post as Consul General of France in Los Angeles, with jurisdiction over Southern California, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Southern Nevada. Please welcome Christophe Lemoine.
Thank you. Dear Mayor Moon, dear Fred Bell, dear Harrison Aldridge, dear veterans, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to really thank very warmly Fred Bell, his staff, and in particular Greg Kenny for their generosity in providing the venue and logistics today and allowing us to hold our ceremony here, one of the world's best aviation museum. Thank you very much. And I would also like to thank our dear friend, Lieutenant Colonel Bob Johnson, for his unwavering friendship and help in identifying potential candidates for this very special award, and for helping to organize this ceremony today and being our Master of Ceremony. Bob, thank you very much once again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a very special occasion for me, and today is a very special day for me as the Consul General of France in Los Angeles, because I am here to express the gratitude of the people of France to all American and Allied veterans of the Second World War, and particularly today to three exceptional people. First Lieutenant Raymond Casey Hasey, Private First Class Martin Kurtz, and Private First Class Francis Snell. As young men, they left their homes to fight and liberate not only France, but the whole European continent, and then defend democracy and human rights. Their accomplishments during the war are a vibrant reminder of the profound friendship between France and the United States, a friendship bound in blood and hardships ever since the War of Independence. From the glorious days of Yorktown to the grim battlefields of Château-Thierry, and from the beaches of Normandy to the mountains of Afghanistan, our country have been fighting together, side by side. Freedom is a gift that does not come for free, and it requires determination and sacrifices. Dear veterans, the French people will never forget that you helped restore their freedom. Your courage and dedication is an example to us all. You are examples of the greatest generation which faced the despair and deprivation of the Great Depression and went on to fight for liberty and freedom during World War II, rebuilt Europe and Japan, and invented a freer, more democratic world after the war. And you remind us that no matter how great the challenge, it can be met when honest men and women stand up with determination and courage. You are an inspiration to us all and to the younger generations.